Welcome to Newsmax TV. I'm Ashley Martella. The House voted 245 to 189 to repeal President Obama's sweeping health care law, but given its unlikely passage in the Senate, what's next for the GOP? Joining us via phone from Capitol Hill is Representative Michele Bachmann of Minnesota, the Republican representing the 6th Congressional District and the creator of the Tea Party caucus in the House. Welcome back to Newsmax TV, Representative Bachmann.
Ashley, thank you so much. It's a momentous day and we're thrilled.
Yeah, it is a big day for House Republicans. What's your reaction to the repeal passing the House, and given the Democrats' determination to block it in the Senate, is it nothing more than a symbolic gesture, as some in the media say?
It's not a symbolic at all. This was not about checking a box and saying we're done with that. This is the down payment on the full-scale repeal of Obamacare. Anyone listening to this broadcast needs to know that we will not back down, nor will we lose our resolve until Obamacare is completely 100% repealed. That's why everything is about the 2012 election. We repealed Speaker Nancy Pelosi. That's why we were able to pass the repeal of Obamacare in the House today. Now, our job is to repeal President Obama in 2012 and a very liberal Senate. Then we can put into place the full-scale repeal of Obamacare. This demonstrates that people getting educated on this issue, paying attention, going to the polls last November paid off. And so now we'll be able to do that and actually finally kill this very bad bill and attack the real problem in health care, which is cost. So we can do that, but we need to win the next election.
Well, the Republicans have been criticized for not having a substitute to Obamacare, at least according to the Democrats. So on Thursday, the House votes to instruct committees to draft health care legislation. Attention now shifts to efforts to replace the legislation. Won't you need Senate Democrats to agree to any changes, and where do you see hope for bipartisan changes?
Ultimately, we will need to have their help if we're to get it done in the next 2 years. But I think it's important that America knows that we do believe in the full-scale repeal of Obamacare. We're already introducing bills to replace Obamacare with true free market health care. Part of that will include allowing people to buy any insurance policy they want with no minimum mandates, buy it anywhere in the United States across state lines, pay for that policy and your premiums and your co-pays with your own tax-free money, deduct the rest of your medical expenses on your tax return, and then have true medical malpractice reform. That would bring down the cost of health care for everyone. Those are the kind of proposals that you'll see us put forward. But we've got a lot of work to do before that, Ashley. That's why what we have to focus on is getting this bill through the Senate and getting it passed through the White House. Barack Obama is a steel door obstacle to the full repeal of Obamacare, which is why we have to elect a bold, strong conservative, constitutional conservative in 2012 for president.
What about tort reform?
That's exactly what's needed. We have to have tort reform. Tort reform has been driving up costs in health care for years. Everyone knows that. And unfortunately, too many of the Democrats here in Congress, the big liberals, have been bought and paid for by the trial lawyers. That's one of the biggest lobbies here in Washington, D.C. Those lobbyists have given a lot of money to the people that put into place Obamacare. They have no interest in bringing the cost of health care down because they have no interest in medical malpractice reform. But we do, and we're going to see bills go forward for medical malpractice liability reform.
Representative, how do Republicans defund the legislation? What efforts are underway on that front?
Right now, we're planning with every single bill that goes through that deals with an appropriation to attach a rider or an amendment that would insist that no money included in that bill may be used in any way to implement the Obamacare legislation, nor could it be used to put any boards together or people together that would try to put into place the Obamacare legislation. So in every possible way, you will see us offer an amendment or a rider to do just exactly that, not allow any funding for Obamacare. So in other words, think of Obamacare like a big helium balloon without any helium in it. We aren't going to let that balloon fly because we aren't going to put any helium in it.
President Obama has promised to veto repeal should it ever hit his desk, but the president said Tuesday that he's willing and eager to work to improve the legislation. Why do you think he's offering to fix it?
Well, I think he knows that he's read the polls. The American people have said overwhelmingly that they want this bill repealed. As a matter of fact, Ashley, the more people learn about what's in Obamacare and when they see the devastating impact of it, the more they dislike this bill and they want it gone. After all, I've seen people who've called me and told me that they have 25% increase in their health insurance costs now and their premiums. Another man said he had a 45% increase in his health insurance costs. Some have had more. So the effect and impact of Obamacare is that we're all going to get less health care, but we're going to pay for it. Well, what a deal. Pay more, get less. And that's only going to continue as more and more about Obamacare is known by people. That's why this is a clunker. The American people don't want it. It has nothing to do with our American way of life. So we need to get rid of it because, quite frankly, it's the crown jewel of socialism, and it's got to go.
Minnesota U.S. Representative Michele Bachmann, thanks so much for sharing your thoughts on this historic day with Newsmax.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.